This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP trader, Duke University, Harvard Business School, former hedge fund owner, private non-SEC guys, not financial advice. Let's get into the market. Close. New York is coming to a close. We had an exciting day on Tesla. Rocked it. Way to go. Way to trade. Let's talk about where we're at on Tesla, on NVDA, on Bitcoin. I want to go through the NASDAQ as well. If there were a 4-alarm potential fire, it is going to be on the NASDAQ. We're going to go through this. I'm excited to welcome all of our VIP traders, new and old, and it's going to be a pleasure to walk you guys through and be with you through the remainder of 2023, 2024 as we come around the bend here. Now, let's talk and preface with the NASDAQ. It's comprised of, guys, it's the tech sector USA, right? Led by NVIDIAs and Teslas and Microsoft and all the Magnificent Seven, they call them, right? Those AI stocks that are pushing right to new heights, essentially themselves, and carrying the market to a great degree. So as we look at the NASDAQ, we have a bit of a problem right now. In terms of the close, I want you to look at the close on the 4-hourly. On the 4-hourly chart, that is your ultimate level of concern with, we would say, a projected potential, guys, a projected or potential contact level on the daily. That's on the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ is not governing per se per specific equity that you may be trading. Looks like we're in a fan reversal, so I want you to mind that specific pattern in play if you pay attention to New York Institute of Finance, where pro traders at pro desks go to school. New York Institute of Finance, you'll know the specific fan formation here without me drawing that in. Guys, in terms of the details, let's go through the recoup on Tesla. But yes, the specifics on that 4-hourly chart are the most concerning. I'll just say that 4-alarm fire that we're looking at that could impact the overall market or be an indication of where the market is heading. A little bit of downward pressure on that 4-hourly, understanding we're still over the 20 moving average on the specific daily. Okay, so compare the 20 and the 20 moving average on the 4-hourly and on the daily. Let's dig into Tesla. Let's talk about what Tesla did today. We will cover NVIDIA. We have time today. I streamed a little bit earlier, not cramming it all in. I like to get in, get out. In my trades, I like to do that as well when we're going over technicals. The major point here we're going to look at in terms of Tesla filled a gap. I talked about that in terms of just the open. We were lower today. You guys know that. I brought that up, I think specifically on the NVIDIA chart, which has struggled, but looking at this gap, I said, you know, mind yourselves, bulls are going to be pushing up to this gap. It's a nice recovery for Tesla. We'll go over the details, the targets to the upside or the downside. Very well done. In terms of the specifics, just pay attention to the repeat patterning here. This is going to be a little difficult to stomach overnight if you're looking for a strong trade in the morning. We're underneath the 4-hourly on the NASDAQ, right? If you want to blast at it in on the open, pay attention to this. Look at this, just carbon copy in terms of kind of a round. You could tell that there's a rounding formation probably at the lower time frames. This is the 1-hourly time frame. We just had the huge, nice drop, guys, to start off the day. Not huge, but nice enough, right? Made some money in terms of the specifics rounded. Just the rounding features here, evident on the candles. When you see it on the candles, you know it's there, but just that carbon copy has evidenced itself again today. We'll go through some additional details in terms of what's likely going to be in play or is in play on Tesla. Don't forget the monthly, for instance, on Tesla, absolutely the 20 moving average, the monthly. If there were orders parked, you know they're going to be parked at that 20 on the monthly without a doubt. And we'll go over upside and downside targets on Tesla. First of all, just congrats to anybody who held that level. And it was not an easy level to get back up and above. We'll go through the micro patterning briefly to show you exactly what Tesla did go through, what activated Tesla to the upside today, what activated NVIDIA, which was a bit more on its heels today. Okay, you can always go to your lower time frames and look at not only your pattern considerations, and I have this laid out: the 5-minute, okay, the 15, the 30, the hourly, the 4-hourly, okay, the 8-hourly, the daily, and then guys, I normally park the monthly down here. Okay, I normally will park that monthly consideration just so I never lose touch of what we look like on the monthly. So I've got the 5-minute, and I like to squeeze the 3 in if I can as well. So the 3, the 5, the 15, the 30. The 1-hourly, 4-hourly, 8-hourly, the daily, and then, of course, the monthly. Sometimes I'll interchange the 3-minute, okay, down here. I just like to have the monthly up somewhere. I ideally like to have the weekly and monthly maybe on a separate screen here in the trade room, guys. So as we would look at the details, that's how we're laid out on Tesla, on NASDAQ, as well on Bitcoin. Bitcoin with a bit of a move to the upside. Nothing huge. We're just concerned right now, VIP. Pay attention. That's our #1 trade group, guys. In terms of this flat bottom formation, it's not a double bottom. It's not a triple bottom. It's turning into a quadruple bottom, okay? So that's just evidencing the fact that we're spending a lot of time along this specific level of support, guys. We're going to test this level 1, 2, 3, 4. It's, it's a sideways journey here. If we can get up hop to the upside, we have a bit of an expansion in terms of expanding volatility, and do pay attention on Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin can rock and roll when she decides to. We trade frequently, daily, Bitcoin. Shout out to all of the traders. Hope you guys are doing well. In terms of this expansion feature, it is expanding volatility potentially to the downside. Could upset some shorts. Anyone who's looking to short this specific move here in the form of a descending triangulation, this is the 4-hourly chart. I want to remind you that, first of all, there are orders parked up along this line without a doubt. You understand fractional completion? What is fractional completion? The probabilities associated with not making a 100% move in the market, not saying, well, this is our pattern, we'll be moving 100%, and there are other patterns in play with larger downside targets. But let's say the easy trader wants to say the amplitude move, boom, down to the downside. This is my target. Well, there are fractional probabilities. You understand that? We trade them in terms of increased probabilities or higher probabilities at a 50% threshold, a 50%. Right? If we have, in this specific instance, we have quite a bit of patterning just below this area to the left. So pay attention to that expansion on Bitcoin in terms of the expanding volatility to the downside. We always want to be a part of such. So Bitcoin, as usual, trying to be a little tricky around the edges in terms of the technicals. She doesn't like to be easy. We like the macro Fibonacci's. We trade them. We like the macro patterning. This went off like gangbusters, as did this level here. And guys, in terms of that first bull flag, we brought that to you guys at the group. The first micro bull flag in this area was a nice one to catch, aside from Fire and Ice really catching, allowing for some accumulation there at the bottom at whatever level, managed futures, etc., that you may have chosen to engage in. Looking at, let's take a look real quickly at NVDA. Why it struggled a bit compared to, with a bit of a recovery, but it struggled a bit. First of all, what we were looking at, it was this morning, and we'll consolidate this 8-hour and the specific daily time frame. I know I will do that at least on the equities without a doubt. I'm bringing that over from crypto. In terms of the specifics on that daily, if you traded early this morning, I was over and out quickly. You guys know, letting you know that there were shorts parked along this specific line, along that 20. If you traded it, you made money. Congratulations, good trade. You may have made money on the open, and on NVIDIA, you made money if you were stacked along that 20 moving average. It did play out to the downside. So let's look at what that recoup was in terms of the move back to the upside, okay? Normally on your lower time frames, as you all know, first of all, you're gonna cross those key moving averages. I don't care if you're stuck on and focus on the 5, the 20, the 4, the 9, the 18, guys, the 7, the 12, the 21, whichever, and along with that, whatever time frame, but whatever moving averages, float your boat, go with it. Just understand the same principle is you're going to have more power with your higher time frames, okay? Those are the key big moves you really want to catch. Your lower time frames are going to be those early signal generators for you, and they're going to include that micro patterning, those micro patterning dynamics that are going to let you know that we're getting up and out of a place, right? Or up and out of a pattern. Here, we can go ahead and just call this in terms of this ascending triangulation. Let's stack this just as such. The ascending triangulation, this was carving along the specific daily, that daily, right, line that did pay well. The daily 20 moving average is right in this zone, right? We were just below it. We paid on a rehit into that 20 moving average on the daily. This is actually the 5-minute time frame. So we are looking at now, and it's a bit of a tricky situation. I'll just tell you, I have to say, particularly with the NASDAQ being underneath on the 4-hourly. Just pay attention to what the market, I was glad to stream this afternoon because it's a good technical setup. Pay attention because what we have is a potential bump and run. We have a potential bump and run, and what's going to define that? Anytime that I see in the market, pay attention, anytime I see in the market that I've got some sort of an expansion across the top at the preceding level, I want to bootstrap in with this specific patterning formation, and I'm looking to beat this specific level of resistance. Why? Because this would qualify as a lead in, okay? This qualifies as a lead in patterning for a bump. and then the expectation would be, boom, a run. They are not easy, but I'll tell you, if you see a specific, nicely formulated lead-in pattern like this, and what's required, we're going to need an expansion like this. We're going to need hits, and you can see that quite well on the 15, and it's a micro. I'll just say it's a micro lead-in compared to the bump. We note that. But you'll see this hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then along this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's in an expanding, descending. Okay, 2 qualifications. I need it to be expanding or divergence, present. I need it to be expanding, and I need it to be descending. Both lines need to be expanding, getting bigger, volatility, expression, and I need them to be headed downward. Bottom line, when you see this, and if you can trade 100 of these guys, you'll start to notice one thing in particular, that frequently you will see this start to defy gravity for some unknown reason, and the rest of the market will sit there and say, what is going on? This will just continue to go up, and we're not sure why. They'll call it a curvature. They normally won't call it a specific lead-in bump and run. So some traders will get excited around this level here or look for a partial return and then time to hammer in, without a doubt. What I'd say now is we do have an expectation. There is a probability, and we know this in terms of a recompletion to preceding level of resistance on this 5-minute and excellent technicals to sit and discuss. We trade this on BTCC along with the indicators that you see. This is our specific proprietary indicator set, and it's just killing the market. It's doing great. We're really excited about the level of proficiency that it's achieving. It is first class. In terms of the specific target completions to the upside, we're kind of in the flux. We have achieved that 50% maximum target from this specific patterning on NVDA. So we've hit the sweet spot into that 50% completion, really over, passing through to the 786, depending upon where you're looking at it or where you're going to define it on which time frame you will assess this. In terms of the specifics, we frequently see, I always tell VIP, they get sick of hearing it, our trade group, I tell them, look, flat top resistance, we commonly see a return to flat top in the market. Sometimes I'll say it 10, 15 times in a row. It's not guaranteed. And I never like a trader to get completely burned on a short back to a flat top resistance, but we see it so frequently. And I know it just burns people when they didn't short if I've said it like 6 times in a row and we've had 6 patterns that have returned to a flat top resistance, a prior flat top resistance, as is the case on a typically bullish flat top resistance, guys, ascending line of support indicative of the ascending triangle. These are bullish. We love to trade them to the upside. When they fail, they're disappointing, but in combination with this specific pattern, I'll just say on NVIDIA, Apple rocked the boat, by the way. Seems like the China news definitely rocked the boat. A little bit skittish on some AI issues potentially today. NVIDIA, we'll pay attention to NVIDIA, and I'll just say right now, let's look at the overall composure here in terms of the composition as we look at about 10 minutes left until New York. We will keep a direct eye on this, on the 5-minute, on the 3-minute, on the lower time frames. Okay, we have encountered, let me see where we're at. The 30-minute looks critical, right? We want to see where we're going to close out the 30-minute, bit of a doji or reversal or indecision just below that 20 moving average here on the 30-minute is noted. And what was noted is essentially, and you'll just see how the short paid on that 30-minute 20 moving average, very nice, as well as it paid this morning. If you caught a few trades, hey, way to trade, guys. Very nicely done. Let's revisit again the specific target entry. And we did let you know in terms of this specific standard deviation, that second standard deviation on the Bollinger. Guys, it's a very simple strategy. It's not the only strategy by any means. We simplify things quite a bit to try and keep things easy. In terms of the specifics here, we still have a negative expression in terms of the RSI stochastics on NVIDIA on the 4-hourly, but we have hit into that standard deviation and it's paid. If targets engaged at this level, not bad, 2.27% to the upside. That's that ascending triangle again that you're going to get more information on at that specific lower time frame. Now, in terms of the daily, we're up above now. We had created through, we are up above currently that 20 moving average. Typically, as New York Institute of Finance will confirm in terms of their publications, that in an uptrend, okay? And you'll just see this on NVIDIA beautifully. In an uptrend, the price should be bouncing along the 20 and some level of higher standard deviation if and when Pay attention. If and when there is a capitulation below the 20, it may be a warning that there is a trend reversal in play. Bottom line, that is nearly verbatim. You guys can read the specifics on that. I'll give you the page number in the back if you want to. But what pro Wall Street traders are looking at is going to be the specific fact here that on breach of the 20 on the daily, that is a potential signal that we are looking at rather a trend reversal, a possible trend reversal in play. And you just see how beautifully well scripted we have been up and over that 20 moving average. So it's just incredibly important for us to maintain this specific level here. Well, orders on the 20 certainly pushed. You had to have a little bit of beyond faith. You had to have some wherewithal, so a little bit of strength to push down through 1.73%. Very likely some people stopped out on a pickup on that 20. So that standard deviation did come into play, didn't it? In that downside band on the 4 hourly as opposed to just the daily. See that 4 hourly hit, boom, right into the standard deviation that we had set up. And congrats to anyone who caught this in yesterday's stream as a downside play with the downside target. Boom, nicely done, nicely done. So I'm going to say with the 4 hourly on the NASDAQ, we're in a bit of flux is the bottom line. I'll go through some targets just technically right now that we have based upon, and let me see if I can do this. This is a great, there we go. In terms of, we'll go through some targets that we currently have. As I look at the monthly, for instance, on Bitcoin being below that 20 moving average is bad news. We know that there are shorts parked at that 20, just FYI, you know this, on the specific Bitcoin platforms of your choice. We choose BTCC. It's really the best to trade on. We really love trading on it. Looking at that 8 hourly, is that the 8 hourly? Nice crossover near completion to the top side band. See a nice bottom side band here hit here on the 8 hourly on Bitcoin. Seeing a near conformant hit here as well. So you see the targeting that's going on around these specific standard deviations. It's not complicated, purposefully so. We hope it's something you can gain some traction on and start to book some positive trades. Let's go through some specific targets that we have. Now, I'm going to move this, let me see if I can move this up just a touch. Okay, I'm going to move myself in the middle of a target, literally some target action that we have here on Bitcoin, on Tesla, and NVDA to kind of close the day out. Now, when I say we have a target, it's not that the target can't be erased or fulfilled, particularly in after-hours sessions, but just so that you know the current status. Now, if I say we have a target 3 minute to the upside, target 5 minute to the upside, that means we are over the 20 moving average and buyers have yet, let's say for instance on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is not going anywhere. Let's say when the market closes, one of the things we like about Bitcoin, but in terms of that, right now on the 3 minute, we have a target to the upside, top side band. Right now on the 5 minute, we have a specific target to the upside. Let me make sure we're at 75. And I want to see this 8 hourly because we did just, let's review that real quickly, but that 8 hourly is showing that we didn't complete. So we do have a bit more room. Assess these time frames when I bring them to you to say, well, we didn't hit the 8 hourly upside target, but nearly. You make the judgment call on that. In addition to the proximity and level threshold that was met in terms of the upside target, I also want you to consider the level of clarity that the traders have in terms of the candle set. Could the next candle, if it is exactly up and over the specific 20 moving average, provide some more clarity for the traders to potentially go long in this zone? So one is going to be on the 8 hourly Bitcoin, looking at the proximity, the threshold within which we did achieve the top side band target. Okay, that's relevant because I was about to mention the top side target on the 8 hourly for Bitcoin. So assess this. It's close, guys. If you're 80% there, if you're 75% there, you make the determination. Also, thereafter, that's number one. Thereafter, number two, assess the candle framework so that you are really looking at this appropriately. We like clean candle sets, without a doubt. You see this clean action here on the 20. We like clean candle sets. We like clean hits into clean. We like clean charts. We like clean technicals. You guys got that. So looking at, we were looking at Bitcoin to start off with this. We got about 5 minutes left in New York, and just, 3 minute upside target, 5 minute upside target, 8 hourly, you guys saw, but upside target. Assess those time frames now. And let's go through Tesla real quickly. And I have this scheduled up for us to discuss. We have, and this again, assess these time frames. We can quickly before the close, but 5 minute, we have an upside target. 1 hourly, we have an upside target, okay? The weekly and the monthly are some larger plays that are not necessarily so conducive to day trading. Let's check out the specific target. And now it looks like we're compromised with a target on the hourly below and the 4 hourly above as we're grinding here. Let's see if we find that contradiction. Let's see how close the specific, this is indication work in process, indicator signal work in process. Very complicated procedures are going on right now to deliver these specific targets. So let's see how we're doing the hourly down and the 4 hourly up. Let's see, hourly down. Let's see where we're at right here. Now this is giving us an hourly signal to the downside. It's pushing and it's close. It may have been pushing just below threshold. You just see the 20 moving average just engaging right here. So likely it's flipping. That's what flipped on as we're pushing below, target below. As we're on, well, it's technically, you understand, that's a level that we have to come up with in terms of an approach and a logic to it. A bull is going to be a bull, is going to sit on the 20. You guys know this. The bear is going to be a bear and sit on a short with the 20. This is just the way the world works. I can't change who you are. So it looks like that is going to be in flux for the hourly, but it's a good point to address. You see that direct interaction there on the 20. So to say we have a downside target, that candle's literally setting. We would prefer, like I just discussed on the 8 hourly, to have a clean framework to work with. This is exactly demonstrative of what the difficulty is in saying, well, target to the upside, target to the downside. If you have a bridged candle that's literally through the middle of a specific moving average or otherwise, that's going to be less clear, provide less guidance to the traders. So we do like that that level of clarity. So glad we checked in with that 1 hourly. The other time frame, let's look at the other time frame would be, what was that, guys? Now it's showing above. So the hourly has flipped here. You'll see below me, you'll see that hourly, there we go, if I can get this right here. So you can see now that hourly has flipped to above. So that is in flux. Understand when I go over these, they can be that much in flux, okay? Very, very good to see this indication work performing as such. The 4 hourly, let's look at the 4 hourly. Now, with this candle set, you have to take a target to the upside, but understand that also this was a mid-level hit through a little bit of an ambiguity. Would we necessarily expect to rifle back to the upside? I'll tell you, you have an interrupter level here in terms of the price expression of your MACD, RSI, and stochastics. That cap line is going to be something that is currently being evaluated at a different level of computation, okay, than just a flat line moving average over or under. But technically we're up and over, we'll call it like this, we're up and over the specific 20 moving average on the specific 4 hourly. So that remains in a bullish stance. I'm not wild with the understanding that we're a bit compromised on that RSI, stochastic, and MACD reading, that red line, our capital control line, okay? So as we talk about this, it's not, I will tell you this, anytime that I see just, an absolute time to hammer into the market and something with clarity, 100%, you'll hear it from me. If things are wishy-washy in the midst, etc., you'll hear it from me, without a doubt. I'm not going to mince words. If things look like there's nothing but up or nothing but down, you will hear it. If all the time frames are confirming, you'll have it, guys. That's the way I operate. I'm not going to sit and jaw back and forth and I'm not going to invent technicals. I'm not going to push a boundary. There's no need to do that. If the technicals are strongly telling us something, like yesterday, it was a big concern. NVDA was under the 4 hourly. That was clear. We knew downside targets engaging. We would have loved to have gotten, remember guys, a bit of an entry. It looks like Sydney market is open, we've got, and New York is closed. Looking at this potential for an entry along that 20 would have been sweet, but we got the drop. So those are the types of things that I'll bring to you and your attention when they're just clear as day, okay? But everybody, I mean, it's the elephant and the gorilla in the room. It's everything. We are closed. Let's just take a look at where we were at with NVIDIA. A little bit of good explaining to do, okay? NVIDIA, just so that you know, look at your charts, evaluate kind of for the open tomorrow, and we'll have some good, we should have some very good trades tomorrow like we did today. That 4 hourly underneath on the NASDAQ is kind of a hiccup in terms of just saying, oh, let's go bull, let's go bull, It's a little bit kind of a warning sign, a little bit of a yield sign. The light is at least yellow, if not kind of red. So we'll let that play out. Not to be overly cautious. It's great to beat your chest and say, hey, I'm a bull. Let's roll. Let's push it. Yeah, but you guys know. sometimes discretion is the better part of valor, right? To some extent. So in terms of in NVIDIA, we'd be looking at the 30-minute potential to the downside. Let's confirm that 30-minute potential to the downside. And yes, we did close below. It's going to depend upon where we open. So we'll keep a good eye on this on the open tomorrow. In terms of the positioning, we'll keep a great eye on that in the morning, guys, on the open. 8 hourly and daily, it's going to be the same, guys. But the daily, we are above on NVIDIA. Let's just take a look at that. And again, we're just straddling the specific 20 moving average. So what I'm going to say is we're going to be excited about the open tomorrow. I hope that you made money either on the drop today or a little bit on the rebound. I think it's a little unfortunate that we didn't clear. Guys, I told you, I was like, look at this gap. The bulls are going to try and fill this gap. I told you guys that this morning. And what happened? Well, Tesla's like, hey, what about me? You know, it's like, you're going to do that for, you know, for my good friend NVIDIA, but you're not going to do that for me. Because what happened? Tesla just, bam, hammered back up, filled the gap in like nothing happened at all. Perfect, you know, perfect day, you know, just perfectly done. But very similar in terms of the dynamics that were in play, you know. Nice gap down on open. So Tesla really popped up with some strong patterning below. And Tesla can just do that any day of the week without a doubt. I encourage you to look at the specific fan formation. We talk about a fan formation. Now, New York Institute of Finance will lay out a fan like this, not just a Gann fan. You need to find the seat of the price action. Lay this out. And that was the impetus in terms of level of resistance, flip to support, resistance to support, resistance to support, resistance, and a little bit of a rocket ride. That was in play for Tesla, and really made the difference, didn't it? Because we weren't just looking at an absolute flat top. We have some dynamics here at flat top, but it was a bit different than just an ascending triangle. We had that clear expression of the fan, which we know could be an explosive move, and just carry and riding up and above that 3. Guys, the 20, to say it's relevant, it's just that is the level that it rode up on the 3-minute time frame. So just nicely done, nice recovery. Don't want to, what do we want to say? Don't want to, you know, don't want to. We're certainly not going to disparage Tesla. We'd love to be surprised any day of the week, every day of the week by Tesla and how she's performing in terms of volatility. To the extent she's going to beat NVIDIA on a recoup move, hey, we'll take it. This gap is still in play, clearly. Would have been nice to see both of them. But now we know a little bit more in terms of the level of ability for Tesla to kind of shock the markets. Tesla is on the map for a reason, because she can lift off without a doubt. She can definitely surprise. And that's why we just love the volatility in terms of the opportunity to trade. We appreciate everyone who makes that possible. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. I think we've been over the fundamentals. We're going to watch pickups tomorrow. Let's make sure that we are hot and ready to roll, guys. In terms of the action, be prepped, get up, get some coffee, get rolling. If you're in an office environment, do not listen to me. I'll tell you, do not lose your job. If you have a different job and you're already pro trading, go do that. You go do what you do. We're going to do what we do. We're VIP. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. We'll talk to you soon, guys. Way to trade. Nice hits on Tesla. Nice hits on, really, guys, some decent hits last couple of days on Bitcoin. And we're going to be watching NVIDIA to see if any of this starts to unfold a little bit more interestingly with some additional volatility. We'll talk to you soon, guys. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.